Habits are sneaky. They can be helpful or they can hinder us from moving forwards. They can keep us stuck. Today, I'm sharing 10 things that I've stopped doing that add simplicity, ease, serenity, and more joy to my life. It's really great to analyze your habits, things you've been doing that are now lying in your subconscious. You're doing them automatically. That's the nature of a habit. An action that you've embraced, an activity that you take on routinely, and it just becomes your everyday normal. Let this video be an invitation for you to examine a little more closely the habits you have in your life to see if they are helping you grow or if they're holding you back. Some of these habits I already began to change when I moved to Switzerland here in 2011, but the real impetus for change was 2020, the COVID pandemic. And it was then that, a lot of these light bulbs went off that I like my own time, I can do my own nails, I can have a natural hair color, and that's okay. So a lot of these really were solidified after during and after the COVID pandemic when, everything changed and I allowed that time in life to change me. I learned from the pandemic different things about myself and different qualities, and that I could live differently and I could be happy. Let's get into it. The 11 habits that I've ditched for a simpler and more serene life. Natural is nice. Thing I did quite regularly in the past was paint my nails or even to get a manicure or pedicure regularly. This is something I have stopped. I found value and appreciation for my own natural color, and I find it quite pleasing when they're clean and shaped nicely, and I find that just as lovely as when I did have color. And what that does is it just frees me of having that regular appointment or that routine of having to repaint my nails, consistently, because when you do have painted nails, it is a lot of upkeep. So what it did is actually just created a lot more simplicity in my life, letting go of that one thing that needed to be done, and I'm just super happy with it. Another habit that I've let go of is coloring my hair. And let me tell you, I couldn't be happier about it. It started in my mid 30s. So a few years back, I decided to stop coloring my hair because I wasn't finding the color that really resonated with me. I wasn't feeling great with it. So I thought, well, let's make a change and let's try this. And turns out I'm totally loving it. It's such a freedom when you can let go of that appointment, especially the hair color, because that takes some time, ladies, eh? And I just didn't want to give that much time and energy and money to that regular upkeep. For me, it was a lot. My hair grows quickly, and so it was something that I was having to do quite often, and I just couldn't keep up. Having my son, it just was not an appointment I wanted to keep. So letting that go has been the ultimate in simplicity and really, truly freedom. Love the hair you've got. Subscriptions. Careful of what you sign up for. Your inbox can become full in quite a quick moment. Being conscious of who you're giving your email address to. And I myself have wrestled with having an email list for my business because I personally want to keep my inbox quite low, and I don't want all that noise coming through. So just to pay attention, where do you really want to invest your time, and who do you want to be sharing your email with? What subscriptions are really gonna, add quality to your life? Coffee and water on the go. That's something I have stopped. Oftentimes, especially the culture here, and growing up in North America, I'm now in Switzerland, coffee is an essential. But it's something that I have been able to enjoy my coffee at home, and when I'm out, I always take my water bottle. I find it not only, eco responsible, not buying the plastic bottles all the time, but it just frees me that it's not something that I worry about. I know I always have my water with me. It stops me from going in stores and possibly buying more stuff that I don't need, or, junk treats and things. So having that just creates that space and that freedom, that ease, and the ability to start your adventure right away. I do still go out for coffee. I do still get a coffee on the go, but it's much more limited. And when I do so, it actually feels really special. Is coffee on the go something that you're wrestling with too? Ever since I have moved here to Switzerland, and everything is a lot smaller, including your home dwellings. Different than in North America, where you'd have this expansive homes. Here, people do a lot more with less space. And so, being conscious of the wardrobe, the clothing that I do bring in, has really helped me to pare down. There's a couple here that are related. So I just really trim back my outfits. I like simple colors. I like to keep, just regular black and white t-shirts. And I dress it up with shoes. But I just keep things quite modest, and that helps just to streamline that ease in getting ready in the mornings. Like, there's not a lot of fuss about what I'm going to wear because everything kind of matches, and that just takes away that block from the morning. I know exactly what I have, and I can just get up and go pretty effortlessly. So having too many choices sometimes can overwhelm you, and limiting it to a more streamlined wardrobe can really help. And on the heels of that, purchasing is something that I've really limited, just because I don't want more stuff. So whatever it is, whatever shop I'm going into, I really question myself before I go in and before I'm going to make a purchase. Is this something my son and I, really need? And it's something I'm teaching my son. Do you need it, or do you want it? Or is it just a wish? Like, where does this desire come from? And when we can really articulate, if it's a real need, and we go ahead. But oftentimes it's okay, well, okay, we like that, but let's have a little think about it, and we'll return later if it's something we really want to add to our home. So decluttering starts in the mind, and having that power over yourself to decide before you're in the shop. A commercial free Sunday, and even the weekend, really. We do a quick grocery shop on Saturdays, but Sundays are commercial free, no shopping. The shops are closed here in Switzerland. And I love that because it just takes that decision making out of it when the whole country is aligned, and creates this day where other aspects of life are of value and prioritized. Then that really makes it easy. And so I really love that. That's something I've stopped doing. I don't seek it out anymore, nor online. New habit for me on Sundays is to reserve that day for nature, for connection with friends, for meetups, etc. The other priorities in my life get attention on Sundays. I moved to Switzerland because I was feeling quite dull and dim where I was back in Canada, and there was many aspects to that, but suffice it to say, I just wanted to be the creator of my life. I didn't want to be a passive consumer of big media content, but rather create my life. I consciously decided to not have a television, and not, engage in any sort of cable programs. Now, a lot of it is Netflix nowadays, because I haven't installed this habit of wanting media. I'm quite I'm quite at ease with not watching a lot of movies and series and such. So I think that's something that can really be beneficial to freeing up other time in your life for activities that you enjoy, and for creating. Being an active participant in your life is really decreasing the media that you take in whichever form. Now, there's so many options, and even more of an issue. But yeah, decreasing can add value and can add space to your life. And then you can, in doing the activities that you love, you reactivate your own life, and you re-energize yourself just by participating in activities that nourish you. When the world shut down in 2020, it taught me to go outdoors more. We are an outdoors family. Whenever possible, we are outside, and I'm choosing, even for my son, outdoor events, outdoor amusement parks, adventures, and wherever possible. Because not only then do we benefit from the actual activity itself, but just being outdoors, there's so many benefits to choosing an outdoors lifestyle that just adds so much nourishment to your body and soul, spirit, that's one habit now that's super ingrained, and it just has become a new normal. When you can add all these things together and switch your life, change your habits, you radically change your life. And keep in mind, these little things are done over time. You keep choosing them day after day after day, and they become your new habit, your new normal, your new baseline for living. There's a couple more I want to touch on. Saying no to things that don't resonate, like things where I felt super awkward before and I just didn't love it. And you either pay a lot of money or you're spending a lot of time doing it, and it just didn't really suit me. So one is, oftentimes, dinners out. I just am a person who loves the slow pace, the quiet pace, the picnic style. So I will choose that. And with my friends, I have a great group of friends who we favor that as well. And so whenever we can, we do meet up and chill with the blanket and all the foods and goodies and that. So that's much more suited to my personality and my feeling good about how I'm spending my time, and aligning myself with friends that feel the same. And it doesn't mean to say, again, it's just the rule, the habit, not the exception. So if it was different weather, winter time, etc., I would go to a restaurant. But when I can, when it's possible, I choose outdoors, picnic style. Lastly, a habit I have broken up with is far away travel. I have chosen to stay most of the time in this beautiful country and explore it. It's not my native land, so I figured the best I can do is get to know this beautiful country that I now call home. And there's so much to explore. So I would encourage you to also look at options where you can stay home more and travel within your own country if that's possible. And really be inspired and connect with the land that surrounds you. There's, a beautiful quote by Ralph Waldo Emerson where he says, getting to know your own local nature is one of the best things you can do for building connection, that grounding, that foundational feeling, where you, over time, when you keep choosing your local nature, that you begin to have this affinity for it and this connection where you want to then protect it. So you begin at your local level wanting to take care of the natural spaces surrounding you, and then it just expands from there. So again, these are little shifts that you start to take over time and shifts that resonate with you. I would love to hear what's on your list for habits that you have ditched or that you want to stop and install new habits that make you feel lighter and merrier. And what I actually find is that as I pivot and change into, embracing habits that align with me, is that I'm more fulfilled. I'm actually happier and more peaceful without all that extra stuff and busyness. So the more I've decluttered my life in all these different ways that I've just mentioned, the happier I get. Your turn, bust through some bad habits, walk into a more fulfilling life with better habits. See you in the next video. Thank you.